back to the sweat. Jesse Covey alongside Emerson Latzia. We are sweating out here.
We're about to sweat out a ginormous slate around the NHL tonight. There is just there is one game. we have
one game.
We have one game here. We have one man here to talk about this one game. But we're going to do a little bit of DFS. We're going to do a little bit of Sportsbook. What's up, Paul Bruno of RotoWire? How you doing this morning, dude?
Everything is great. How about you guys?
We're hanging in there, dude. We're hanging in there. So I wasn't as dialed into the NHL this weekend like that I typically am, because there was this thing on called the Masters. But like, what was the biggest storyline this past weekend, especially as we have those frantic finishes. We're getting close to the finish line here in the regular season.
Kings lost their third straight.
Okay,
well,
so you've been more dialed in than me.
Yeah.
The biggest story was in the mecca of hockey at the downtown Toronto, where Auston Matthews became the fifth guy and the first in the last 30 years, I think, to get 50 goals in 50 games at any point in a season. He's now up to 58 on the season, and pulling way ahead, eight ahead of his nearest competitor there. So that was the biggest news on my radar, and I think you'd be hard pressed to come up with something better.
Okay.
All right, so only one game on the slate, like we talked about.
Yeah.
So Jets, Canadians. Who's your captain going to be in this one, Paul? Connor Hellebuck is going to be the most expensive captain, $16,800.
Dang.
Yeah, that's if he plays. I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, because he played yesterday, and I know they have the long trek from Ottawa to Montreal. I think you can walk there in a couple of hours. But no, seriously, it's about 200 kilometers, maybe 120 miles.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. I was going to say, we do miles here. Right? You say kilometers, and I'm just what are you talking about?
I'm looking at an international audience for this show. Anyway, I won't be going to the goaltenders, regardless of who's in the nets. The Jets, as I said, they played yesterday, and Samuel Montembeault is going to be pressed into service for the Canadians because Jake Allen hurt himself against the Leafs on Saturday night. So I think instead I'm going to go to one of the big shooters, and breaking that down to like Nikolai Ehlers of the Jets, as he's on a tear with 7 goals and 14 points and 49 shots on goal in his last 10 games played. He's costing $14,400. I mean, I choose him over Kyle Connor, who costs $16,200, largely on the basis of that shot disparity. Connor, for his part, only 25 shots on goal in those same 10 contests, even though he's a much better scorer on the season. I'll take the guy who's hot right now. And if you don't like the Winnipeg Jets, take a look at Montreal. The smart pick there has to be Cole Caulfield. He's got 5 goals and 8 points, along with 29 shots on goal, costing only $11,700 tonight.
All right, who else do you need in your lineup? Is there like a stack you could chase here? Is there some value plays you could stuff inside that lineup?
Well, you're going to stack on a single game slate. I think there's only one game tonight, right?
True.
So I think I'm going to highlight the players that I think make the most sense in terms of costing less than your average top guy, but good value tonight. So for the Canadians, Brendan Gallagher is the top option for me. For them, he's only $7,500, and this is a guy who shows up every night. No, Montreal's been eliminated for a long while. In fact, I ordered the mini Stanley Cup to the league eliminated them last week, so that's on the docket. And he's got 7 points in his last 10 games because this guy's a gamer. He'll play every night like it's the seventh game of the playoffs finals, and so you'll get full value for him at that floor, I think. And then the Jets, Adam Lowry's moved up to a second-line scoring role at center, and he's got a couple of strong scoring line mates alongside him. I like his size and physicality in this match. I think it'll pose a problem for the smaller Canadians, and he costs only $8,400 tonight.
All right, let's move it on over to the sports book. Paul, favorite bet for this game tonight?
You know, I think in terms of the sports book, I'm saying that we're going to say that the favorite bet should be not the total goals, because I think you're going to be hard pressed to get to 7 tonight, regardless of the quality of the netminders. I would rather take the Jets on the puck line as a plus 175, giving up a goal and a half, because they're a desperate club, and then you really need to come through with a win tonight. There's more at stake for them, and they'll be motivated.
All right, let's move to some futures here. So again, one game on the slate, if you've heard that before. Auston Matthews, minus 330 to win the Hart Trophy. And is there anything that could possibly happen here where he actually doesn't win it? I see McDavid plus 350, but he would also need 10 goals over the last 9 games or something mind-boggling like that.
Yeah.
You know what? The value is on McDavid though at the current prices. I mean, Matthews has become the prohibitive favorite because of the string of performances that he's put together for the last 50 games, and he's kind of created that distance as a strong two-way player, not only the best shooter in hockey, but really a 200-foot game like almost nobody else. And he's really carrying this club on his back right now in a string of really impressive victories against the opposition that he's faced. And he's in a tougher division than McDavid, and yet he's outscored him in terms of the goal scoring by a mile. And even at even strength, he's outscored McDavid all season long. So those are factors that give him the edge in my mind, and it's a substantial one. I don't know that there's anything that McDavid can do to close that gap. I mean, look at the quality of the divisions they play in. The Leafs are in the toughest division in hockey, and you can make the case that McDavid's in the weakest one too.
All right, odds are dead even for Cale Makar and Roman Josi for the Norris Trophy, both at -110. So who's the bet here, Paul?
You know what, Jesse? It is a close one, but I think I'm going to give the nod to Roman Josi because he's actually leading his team in scoring and threatening to be the first Blue Liner to score 100 points in a long while. Both defensemen are in a virtual tie when you consider their defensive metrics, so that's out the window. And Makar, while he has 6 more goals, Josi leads Makar by 10 total points on the season. So both are clearly outstanding players, but Makar benefits from the star power around him in Colorado, while in Nashville you can make the case that Josi is their top gun and the only D-man, as I said, to lead his team in scoring all season.